My dear brothers and sisters, for what I'm going to say may sound profound, may sound crazy, but please hear me out as I come through all faith and all truth, as I tell you that the Spirit of Gideon landed on me. The Father has given me the Spirit of Gideon, and let me explain before you think I'm a crazy man. One day, about a year ago, I suddenly got a deposit from my employer in my bank. The amount of money that was put into my account was a mistake, but that number equaled my birthday. 10778. $1,007.78, and I was born 10/7/78. Gideon was a Berean, as I grew up in a city called Berea. Also, after that deposit was made in my bank, my remaining balance was 1066, the year Gideon raised up 300 men to fight a battle against all odds. Hollywood made a horrible they stole the story of Gideon and made a movie called 300, but there was some truth to that movie. The story of Gideon's life matches mine. I was in a spot where my mother died, my girlfriend died, 10 days apart. I lost my father shortly before that in a horrible car accident. I was hit with addictions. I was hit with everything you could possibly be hit with. And I kept on getting up, and I kept on fighting. And I was taking care of my elderly grandma, who was a very special woman, who my grandmother's grandmother escaped the Nazi camps, came to America, and during the Great Depression at the age of 11, my grandma, who I took care of, was 11 years old with my great-grandfather on Lake Erie. Suddenly the water awoken, a tsunami that is so rare, it's called a seiche. It raised up. It came out, and it came after the water came after my grandmother. It grabbed my great-grandfather and sucked him out and drowned him. My grandmother, Evelyn Huntsman, was thrown up into a rock, into a crevice, where she was barely saved. If she would have died that day, my whole family line would have not existed right now. And me and my grandma always were like this, best of friends. I've been through trials, tribulations. I was a laughing stock, just like Gideon. Gideon was the least in his family, which I was the least in my family. Gideon was laughed at for people because he was in such a horrible spot, as I was in such a horrible spot, as I was fighting all these memories of abuse from false religions, people hurting me as a child. Every loved one I saw died a horrible death in a hospital bed, but I kept on fighting with the power of Yeshua. And these numbers came to me through my bank account, and all of a sudden it hit me, boom, like a brick. And it said, look up the number 1066. And I saw 1066, and I found the story of Gideon, the Berean, who I grew up in a city called Berea, Ohio. I've known since I was a child, as I had dreams of the end apocalypse, that I had some type of job to do. After that day, I was washing my dishes in my kitchen, and I saw a rainbow outside. And I said, what a beautiful rainbow. And I heard in my heart as Father spoke to me. He said, go take a picture of that rainbow. I ran in the back. I took a picture. As soon as I took that picture, boom! Lightning flashed, going from east to west through the rainbow, pointing to a cloud in the shape of a white unicorn. And I have my neighbor witnessed me watch this picture. I have sent this picture to a woman named Vicky from Messenger Sent. This picture is so amazing. I still can't believe I took it. Then those numbers came to me. Then I was out preaching the good word to the prostitutes, the homeless, the poor. And I was in another rainstorm and I saw another rainbow. And all I could think of was that day of all the numbers, the city, the situation Gideon lived in. And it was like Father said, Matthew John Demko, who you have been attacked by the enemy since the day of your birth. You were a miracle baby. You shouldn't even be alive. You've gone through so many trials and tribulations as I've watched you. And while you have sinned, you have always tried to do what's right. I found something in your heart that is unique. And he wants me to raise up, to help raise up. Because I'm not the only one. It's that I'm not doing this for my ego. But I am sending the spirit of Gideon to raise up warriors who have no fear. Warriors who are not afraid to battle. Warriors who 100% know that Yeshua HaMashiach is the true Messiah. And Psalm 83:18, for my name is Jehovah, and it is most high over all the earth. And he sent his son down here. And his son was beaten. His son was mocked. His son was called the devil. He suffered a horrible death. While on the cross, it's like I saw him there. It's like I witnessed it. He said, Ella, Ella, sabachthani. My God, why have you forsaken me? His head tilted to the side. As he said, it was finished. He was pierced. As the water and blood poured on the soldier knew that that was the true God. And at that hour, the earth shook as the 7 morning star angels, the archangels, shook this earth. And the Pharisees' temple crumbled to the ground. Gideon rose up to fight the Midianites. First, Gideon brought 30,000 soldiers, and Father said, lessen the number. He brought 15,000 warriors, and Father said, lessen the number. Jehovah said, get the number down to 300, and you will be going against hundreds of thousands of soldiers, but I will be with thee. Gideon went out and he put a fleece on the ground and he said, Father, in the morning, if this fleece is dry and no morning dew has touched its fleece, I will believe you. The next morning, Gideon looked at that fleece and it was totally dry. The next day, he did a similar thing. And again, the Lord showed him that he was with him. Gideon rose up that army. They became strong. They became one. And they went on to conquer. And I am calling from just my small channel. And I ask the Holy Spirit to anoint me and to anoint this message and to send the Spirit of Gideon to all of you. As it was given to me, I freely give it to you, to Gideon, to David, to the warriors of God. You know, when David was just a boy, that lion was going after one of his sheep. David ran after that lion. He grabbed it by the beard and said, you come after my sheep? And he slew the lion. The bear came after his sheep. He grabbed the bear and he gutted that bear and said, don't you come by my sheep. Then the giant Goliath called out anyone. And here comes a little shepherd boy with 5 stones and a sling. He loaded up his sling. And he said, you come to me with a sword that weighed 600, I believe it was kilos. Goliath had 6 pieces of armor. He stood 6 cubits tall. 666 was the number of Goliath. David threw that stone. The father had it land, smacked that giant in the head. That giant fell, hit the ground. David ran, grabbed the sword, took off the head of Goliath. You know what that is? That's fulfilling the prophecy in Genesis that Jesus will be bruised in the heel, but Jesus will crush the head of the enemy. That was a message inside of the story of David, how Jesus conquers and how we conquer the enemy, the devil. Have no fear. Rise up, bride of Christ. Become fearless. Ask to be saved from the hour of temptation. Ask to go up. Ask to be one of the many that come back down as spoken in the book of Jude with Jesus as we come down and execute judgment on this wicked earth. Yeshua HaMashiach, if anything I've said is untrue, may I burn in hell. If anything that I say is a lie, may I burn in hell. For these things have happened to me. These things have happened to me. This was a real experience. And I'm sending my power, my strength, my courage to all who watch this. May chains be broken. May yokes be ripped off of you. May I send healing to your hearts. May I loosen the most battle-ready, rugged angels from Michael's army to protect you, to guide you. May I loosen in heavens ministering angels to come to your side when you're sad and depressed. May I loosen Raphael, the angel of health, to come down and fix your wounds inside and heal you and prepare you for battle. May we sing and dance like David. May we raise up an army like Gideon. Our redemption is nigh. It is time to look up. Yeshua HaMashiach will appear. And the brightness of his coming and the frequency that comes out of his mouth will be enough to crush the Antichrist and Antichrist system. It has been written. Jesus has already done and won the battle. Now it's time to be fulfilled. Have no fear. I love you all.